Hello and welcome to cake decorating. This is going to be the cake decorating FAQ to give you the lowdown on what you're going to be doing throughout the semester. All right, so what exactly is cake decorating? So cake decorating is an independent study course. So it runs with pastry chefs. So essentially your teacher is going to be direct teaching the pastry chef course, those students, and then kind of guiding and helping you through your course. But your information is self-paced, and you will be learning about cakes, pastries, and decorating. And lessons are designed in a module format. And as I said, you're going to be working at your own pace. Now, if there's other students in your cake decorating class, obviously you can collaborate with them, but you will be doing your own designs and whatnot. All right. So here are the topics we are going to be covering throughout the semester. And you will be provided a weekly, daily type plan to kind of guide you through all this information. So the first unit is introductions, which you'll be doing this first couple of days of class. And then you will be doing some color theory and mixing of colors and whatnot, making a color wheel. In unit number 2, you will be covering baking basics, which you will just have a review of baking cakes, a filling and a buttercream, and then assembling it. So a small recap from pastry chef that you will do in baking basics. In unit number 3, you will be introduced to the piping tips and some piping techniques, and you will have several days to practice these techniques in class. All right. And then unit number 4, you're going to be designing buttercream cakes, and then you will make your designs come alive and put them into action. All right. And then in unit number 5, you will be making fondant, and you will be working with the fondant, creating 3D figurines. So something a little bit more artistic, very, very fun. And then in unit number 6, similar to the designing buttercream cakes, you're going to be designing fondant cakes and then also making those come alive. All right. And then in unit number 7, it is cupcakes, and that's kind of divided into 3 sections. So you'll be doing a cupcake pull-apart cake. You'll be doing a gourmet cupcake. And then in unit number 8, you will be doing final exam projects, which you will have an option of how you're going to take that. All right. But it is all hands-on. All right. How are you going to get started? So you will be provided with a daily lesson plan. You will have all the lesson plans, or essentially like a to-do list for each day for the entire semester. So you can kind of have a general idea of how much time is allotted for each activity. Some of you might maybe need more time. Some of you are going to need less. And in an independent study, it really helps you with your time management and hands-on activities. So you really want to pace yourself accordingly. All right. Your teacher will be available, obviously, to answer any questions, but the class is designed to be independent, and you are able to work on it on your own. So if your teacher's absent, you will still be participating and doing what you're supposed to no matter what. All right. All the content is provided in Schoology, and some of it will be submitted in Schoology. So you will be submitting introduction assignments to the units, and then you will also be submitting labs on there. Recipes in most cases are going to be printed and provided to you, so you don't have to have your computer open when you're in lab, since it's not really safe. We don't want to cross-contaminate. All right. You will, as I've said, you will work your way through the material at your own pace. Again, collaboration is fabulous with the other students in cake decorating, but you will be working at your own pace. All right, so weekly expectations. You will follow the daily, weekly plans provided to you. Again, you're going to be provided the entire semester at once, so you can work ahead. The assignments you can work on your own time, so then when you're in class, you can work on the labs, giving you possibly more time. And if you finish all the material provided to you for the whole semester, we have lots of other projects and designs that you can create and be, very much hands-on. All right. Because it is independent study, your teacher will always have staple ingredients for you: flour, sugar, butter, things like that. But if you notice ingredients are starting to run low, maybe let your teacher know. If you need any special ingredients or materials, let your teacher know ahead of time. All right. And then pace yourself, obviously, accordingly when you're in lab, to make sure you have enough time for cleanup. So class periods are about 45 minutes this semester, this year. So obviously have a plan in mind when you come to class. Don't just come and be like, what am I going to do today? I would plan at the beginning for at least 15 minutes for cleanup, and making sure everything is properly put away, because you know, the cake decorating supplies are expensive and we want to make sure we maintain the quality. All right. So plan for at least 15 minutes at the beginning for cleanup. If it takes you less, then obviously modify your days when you are in lab. All right. When you are absent, please plan accordingly to get caught up on missed daily tasks and lessons. So some of the labs are going to take you maybe a whole week. Okay. And then if you're absent, those ingredients are going to go bad when you're gone. So it's really important that if you know you're going to be absent for a couple of days, don't start a large lab and waste those ingredients. If you're having problems modifying, obviously discuss this with your teacher. All right. And then you're going to, as I said, submit assignments and labs to Schoology. All right. So that is where we go with your weekly expectations. So labs. When you complete the labs, you will submit a picture of the finished product on the lab document to Schoology. All right. In the past, we've had students make a cake decorating portfolio, and it kind of became it's a time thing that the students didn't have a lot of time to work on this portfolio. So instead of doing a portfolio on the lab where the recipe is provided on the second page, you're just going to submit a picture of the finished product. We would like for you to be in that, and then you just have a couple of reflection questions. Okay. So for every lab, that's how you're going to submit it. That's how we're going to grade it. Obviously, we will see you completing it, but we want a picture visualization of your completed cakes and projects. All right. And as I've been saying, you can work at your own pace if you would like. You can obviously move ahead and I'm really encouraging plan accordingly, meet your time management needs. Okay. And then obviously, like I said, communicate with your teacher if you need any help with any labs or if you need extra time. So if we've only allotted 5 days for a cake and you need 7, then let your teacher know, because they will help you modify plans. Okay. And if you are out an extended amount of time, we do have alternative assignments available at your teacher's discretion. So, if you're in the middle of a lab, you're not going to finish it, but you want to make sure you're getting to the other materials, talk to your teacher. And if a alternative assignment is a better option, then we will go ahead and give that to you. But you need to talk to your individual teacher because everyone's situation is different. But all of us are very, very accommodating, and we want to make sure that you are successful and that you have options. Okay, so grading. Because this is an independent study, there are 2 grading categories. So the formative and small assessments, which is just your basic class assignments. So for every unit, there's going to be something that introduces you and has you explore a topic. Okay, looking at pictures, videos, etc. That's going to be accounted for 50% of your grade. The other 50% of your grade is going to be the labs. And like I said, there are alternative assignments available, but obviously you're taking cake decorating because you want to make cakes. So obviously when you're at school, you will be doing those labs, and that is 50% of your grade. All right. All right, so here are most of the cake decorating supplies. All of this is provided to you in class. You will have food color gels. There's a whole cake decorating area with all these supplies. There's endless amounts of tips you will be using, piping bags. We may be using styrofoam cakes, but we're going to be using a lot of frosting and cake mix. Because this is cake decorating, we really want to focus on the decorating aspect rather than just making everything from scratch, just to save on time. So you will make some things from scratch, but when you really get into the buttercream cakes and decorating those and the fondant cakes, you will be using pre-made buttercream and pre-made cake, okay, or styrofoam cake. So depending on where we're at, that's kind of, what you're going to be using. You will obviously still be taught how to make homemade buttercream, homemade fondant, homemade cake, but then as we make multiple designs, you will be using store-bought just to save on time. And then this other picture here is all the extra supplies, which will be provided to you to help decorate, and it is all in your cake decorating area at your school. Okay, so the first unit we'll be working with is color theory. So you will be doing a color wheel, mixing colors with vanilla wafers. All right, so you can kind of get an idea of that. Then you will be making, like I said, in Baking Basics, a cake, a chocolate filling, and a vanilla buttercream. And then you will be assembling it and doing a crumb coat with basic sprinkle decorations. Okay, so kind of giving you an idea of that. In unit number 3, you're going to be working with your piping tips. You will be learning all about the different tips, and then you'll have several days to practice these tips on parchment paper, just to, get familiar with the techniques. Okay. Then in unit number 4, you'll be designing a couple of different buttercream cake designs. You will also be looking at cake decorating trends. You will make a tray cake, and then you will take your designs and put them into action. Okay. And you can do any designs that you want with buttercream. Unit number 5, you will work with fondant. You'll make a homemade fondant, and then you will make fondant figurines and fondant decorations. All right, so that is in that unit. And then in unit number 6, similar to the buttercream cake unit, you will be designing multiple fondant cake designs, and then you will put those to use. When you are making your fondant cakes, you will be provided pre-made fondant, because you will make the homemade fondant unit 2 and make the figurines. But when we start doing the actual fondant cakes, it's very time consuming to make fondant. So we will be purchasing pre-bought for you. You'll dye it and make your designs. Okay. And then the last unit that we're going to end with is cupcakes. You will be doing a cupcake pull apart cake. So you can kind of see some of those here. And then you will be making one gourmet type cupcake. Okay. And then the last thing you're going to do is you'll end the semester with a final exam project, which is filling a bakery order. And that information will be provided to you later. All right. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, you can talk to your teacher. There will be a syllabus provided on Schoology, which has the grading outlined, and as well as the units. All right. Thank you.